Hello, BookTube. I've got some mail for you today on a roasting hot Saturday, just boiling hot outside. So hot that you knew it was going to be hot first thing in the morning. First thing. This whole area, the large chunk of this area, is in the lee of a hill, of a little crest. So the morning sun doesn't hit directly. You can feel it building on the other side of the crest, and so there's a large chunk of the morning walk that's in shadow. The whole of it in shadow. And if it's warm even then, even in shadow, you know there's a brute of a day coming. And we have more of it to come. Sunday and Monday will be even hotter than today. Sunday and Monday will be edging up into record-breaking territory for Boston, with the hope that the weather changes on Tuesday. That a massive front system comes through, lots of unsettled air. Right now, the meteorologists are saying threats of rain. And that the temperatures go back down and sort of stay that way for at least a stretch. We'll see. I certainly don't feel any trace of it today. But the mail still comes through, and I got some periodicals and some packages. I thought we'd go through those. One of the periodicals is the London Review of Books. I recently renewed my subscription, and I'm glad that I did, even though first glance at the table of contents for this issue made me think that there's barely anything in here that will interest me. There are hardly any books that are reviewed in here that I have read or intend to read. There are a couple of long political essays that aren't going to do anything for me. I'll read them, definitely, because some of these authors are really good, are really talented. I'll read them on basically anything. But there was one thing here that a dual review that I had a suspicion might be funny. The review is by Andrew O'Hagan, who is often a very, very energetic writer. And he reviews Run, Rose, Run, which is a collaboration between Dolly Parton and James Patterson. And he also reviews The Stories of My Life by James Patterson, which is a bit of an autobiography on his part. And I was right. It's a hoot. It's a hoot. I want to read you just a bit of it in case you don't take the London Review. Patterson says his writing career began in McLean Hospital in Massachusetts in 1965, when he was 18. He worked there for 5 years, but he brings us nothing of its flavor, nothing of its patience, or its climate, or its social history, or its smell, nothing of himself, and thus the Patterson writing style was born. A writer obsessed with formulae is seldom interested in detail. Patterson doesn't know his grandpa's first name. In his 30s, he saw the name of his first girlfriend on a gravestone near where he lived, but shows no interest in how she died. Writers like that make a sort of camaraderie out of their ignorance and lack of curiosity, as if making it easy on themselves and easy for the reader is the true mark of authenticity, of being neither fussy nor pretentious. It is an entertaining and puzzling aspect of our book culture that the works that sell squillions of copies are usually the ones that make everything in life less interesting than it actually is. If every era must have its busy global laureate of such dullness, ours will be James Patterson. His novels read as if they were written by committee. He has many collaborators, and they have deeply reliable commercial optics, such as the destruction of Dolly Parton's interestingness may be judged a solid success. In a way, he offers a compliment to real life by always allowing it to baffle art. No sentence in the Patterson universe is equal to the suggestions and nuances of life itself. His galaxy is a constant flow of words that drift towards nullity. Stephen King once called me a terrible writer, he says in his memoir, which is quite unjust. He's not merely a terrible writer, he's the terrible writer's terrible writer, a distinction he should enjoy. That was worth the whole of the issue just for that. So the London Review of Books, always fun. And I also got The New Yorker. This is the August 8th issue of The New Yorker with this gorgeous summary cover. Look at that. There's no parking sign, but the couple has parked their bike there anyway. And they're taking off their crash helmets and headed towards the beach. Beautiful sun work there. Who is this by? If I'm praising it, I should tell you. R. Kikuo Johnson, whose covers I think I've praised before. That is just a lovely summary cover there. I could do without the couple having tats, but that's okay. That is de rigueur these days. But this was also a strong issue for cartoons. I wanted to show you a few of the cartoons just in case you don't take The New Yorker. Like, for instance, The Great Roz Chast. who does a cartoon called New Excuses for the Antisocial that includes a new excuse that everybody on BookTube has been tempted to use. Whether or not they're mewling introvert enough to actually use it, I don't know. And that is, sorry, but this book is too good. But there are others like My Hair Hurts. Or Still Processing Last Night's Dream, where this guy is being haunted by a giant spoon and fork. But that was one. But there were a few other cartoons that I thought were really good. One of the things that I love about New Yorker cartoons is when they reflect their time. Here's a baseball cartoon, and the caption is, "But I don't feel safe." Which, you'll be able to look back and tell the era when that cartoon happened. There are two others that I want to show you here before we move on to the mail. One of them is fairly simple, but I loved it anyway for fairly obvious reasons. You've got a dog with a backpack on about to enter the New York Public Library. There's a giant lion outside the New York Public Library. And the caption is, Wally begins research for his thesis entitled, Who's a Good Dog? But the other one is a hoot. My favorite cartoon in the issue shows two space aliens in a crater on an alien planet, on the moon maybe. Two space aliens are conferring with each other, and there are human astronauts in the background. And the caption perfectly captures what Americans do all the time when they meet anyone from a foreign country. The caption is, "They're from Earth. I wonder if they know Dan." Is the stereotypical ugly American abroad that thinks if you're from Istanbul, you must know the one person they know in Istanbul. I thought those were neat. I love New Yorker cartoons anyway. But those were the periodicals, and then one of the books was opened off camera. And ordinarily I would just leave that out rather than outrage you with the idea that books are being opened off camera. But this is a double, and so I thought I would offer to send it to one of you. We saw this just the other day. This is Toby Wilkinson's book, Tutankhamun's Trumpet, in which he looks at Tutankhamun, the boy pharaoh, was buried with thousands of items. The ancient Egyptians buried you, if you were wealthy enough, they buried you with anything you might need in the afterlife. They didn't assume you were going to be a disembodied spirit. They buried you with your pets. They buried you with a bed and a backup bed and your favorite chair and a whole bunch of games to play. And Wilkinson, who's written a few books on ancient Egypt, all of them really good, here looks at 100 of those objects to tell what it says about Tutankhamun's age, but also about the ancient Egyptians and the whole broader world. And if anybody can do that and make it an entertaining narrative, it's this guy. And I got a copy of this in the mail just the other day, and I got another copy. So this doesn't come out until November, but I'd be happy to send the double to one of you, especially if you feel like reviewing it. If you feel like reviewing it for me, for Open Letters Review, the online site where I'm one of the editors, I'd be happy to send you this advanced copy, and then you'll have plenty of time to read it, take notes, try it out, try out your hand at reviewing. I'll be right there along the way to help you. But anyway, I want to let you know that there was a double involved. But then we'll do the packaging and see what we have here. While my bean looks on in the background, I've got fans going. I've got the little AC unit chugging away in the window. But there's only so much that anything can do about the heat on days like this. Baby, what you doing? What have we got here? Oh, wow. Okay, great. This is from the folks at Pegasus Books. This is a hardcover. It's out already. Came out on Tuesday, or whatever today is. It came out just a few days ago. It came out on the 2nd of August. So this will be available for you. It is Haunted Tales, Classic Stories of Ghosts and the Supernatural, edited by Lisa Morton and the great Leslie Klinger. A fantastic editor, someone whose works you should go and find. They're so good. What have we got here? Following their acclaimed anthologies Ghost Stories and Weird Women, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Is there any other kind? Award-winning anthologists Leslie Klinger and Lisa Morton present a new eclectic collection of classic tales that is certain to haunt readers long past the final page. So this introduces readers to masterpieces like Algernon Blackwood's terrifying Kit Bag. Algernon Blackwood, didn't Michael K. Vaughan just do a video about Algernon Blackwood? If he did, I'll try to remember to leave a link to it below. I watched it, whoever did it, and really liked it. Oscar Wilde's delightful The Canterville Ghost. The Canterville Ghost is delightful. I'm not the biggest fan of Oscar Wilde. A lot of you are, but I love The Canterville Ghost. And F. Marion Crawford's horrific The Screaming Skull, as well as lesser-known gems by some of literature's greatest voices, including Virginia Woolf, H.G. Wells, and Rudyard Kipling. Great, fantastic. So it's a ghost story book. It's a supernatural scare-em storybook, and it's out already. It's a finished copy. It came out in early August. This is a little late getting to me. Fantastic though. I will read this tonight. I'll put it right on the pile for tonight. Although it has lots of competition tonight, as we will be seeing in another video that I make today. It has lots of competition tonight and this weekend. So let's see what this next one is. It feels like another finished copy, which is good. I want August finished copies if I can get them. Yes, this is an August finished copy. Excellent. So this is from the folks at Basic Books. I think we saw this already. This comes out at the end of August. This is called Partisans by Nicole Hemmer, the conservative revolutionaries who remade American politics in the 1990s. Some of you who are familiar with American politics will recognize the person on the cover there. So do we have a description here? Tagline is a bold new history of modern conservatism that finds its origins in the populist right-wing politics of the 1990s. Yes, pull the other one. It's got bells on it. It finds its origins in the populist right-wing politics of the 1930s, not the 1990s. As the midterm elections approach, many of us are still trying to make sense of what happened in 2016 and what that might mean for 2024. The officials in charge of authorizing, of certifying the vote tallies in the swing states are all Trump loyalists. They are all neo-Nazis. They've worked their way into that job, and no one has stopped them from doing that, even though working your way into that job on the explicit promise that no non-neo-Nazi will ever win election while you have that job is fraud, it's malfeasance, and there's an argument to be made that it's sedition. Those are crimes. Anyone who runs on a platform like that doesn't need to be elected to that job. They can be instead put on trial. It doesn't matter. A country that sleepwalks its way to what's coming in 2022 and especially in 2024 deserves what it gets. But anyway, what was the sheet saying? With this book, political historian Nicole Hemmer puts forth a new framework for understanding the current political landscape. I'm hearing Hemmer, and I keep thinking of the chief engineer on Captain Pike's Starship Enterprise and his tragic end. It reminds me of Andoria. Anyway, but Partisans is not the prehistory of Trumpism. It's the first of its kind examination of the oft-overlooked political players who seized the uncertainty of a rapidly evolving political landscape after the Cold War to accumulate political power, wealth, and fame, shaping our country in the process. Go on. I was there for all of this. I was writing editorials for all of this, but go on. Hemmer argues that the era of Reagan was essentially over by the time Reagan left office, thanks to the fall of the Berlin Wall. Opposition to communism has successfully united various threads in the Republican platform: freedom, religion, an enormous defense budget reconciled with a small state government ethos. As the sunny optimism of the Reagan era fell away, grievance politics took over, spearheaded by proud partisans like Newt Gingrich, Pat Buchanan, Rush Limbaugh, Laura Ingraham, who made the Nazi salute at the 2016 Republican National Convention, and Pat Robertson. They set to rousing what Gingrich called the silent majority, by which he seemed to mean people who cared more about school prayer and abortion than they did about foreign policy or infrastructure. Gingrich and his fellow partisans tapped into the long-simmering muck of American racism to broaden and deepen their base. Okay, well, it sounds like I will be arguing with this author, but it sounds like it'll be fun. It sounds like the arguments will be fun. So that's another book on the pile. That's two for August that I haven't read and that have to be done. So let's see what these next two are. Is this gonna fill my reading tonight? There are lots of claimants for my reading time tonight, but we'll see. Okay, no sheet in this next one. But I'm imagining this is an August release. I'm imagining this. This is by Lukasz Bednarski, and it is called Lithium, the Global Race for Battery Dominance in the New Energy Revolution. In the news, for those of you who watch the down-in-the-weeds details of bills that are going through Congress here in America this week. that is what it looks like. Lithium, which is a key element. Let's see what the book has to tell us. A global energy revolution is unfolding before our eyes. Ever-growing numbers of electric vehicles on our roads, laptops that last all day on a single charge, and solar panels on our roof, all reliant on lithium-ion batteries. This revolution is happening at breathtaking speed with the potential to completely transform key industries and the way we live. For the first time in history, we can now actually store this green energy we talk so much about. Often referred to as the new oil, lithium allows large amounts of energy to be squeezed into a very small space. Like the beam. You don't run on lithium, do you? No. Space demand is soaring, and the lithium business is full of drama. Bitter rivalries, shady deals, and exceptionally talented visionaries such as Elon Musk, who is building lithium battery gigafactories across the world. This book travels from the salt lakes of the Tibetan Plateau, where Chinese government-linked companies extract lithium, to Argentina, Chile, Bolivia, and which hold the world's biggest resources of the mineral. It reveals superpower struggles to secure strategic supplies and the astonishing efforts of lone wolf inventors and entrepreneurs. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm really curious to know that. I honestly don't know. Where is lithium found in most abundance? Does America have lithium deposits? And also, the minute you mention where those resources can be found, I immediately wonder, can lithium be synthesized? Does it have to be drawn out of the ground, or can you make artificial lithium? I honestly don't know. I don't know any of that. I'll learn it all from this book. I'll have to find out the pub date on it. I'm not 100% sure because this has a price in pounds on the dust jacket. So I don't know is this out already? Is it been out for a long time, maybe? No idea. Well, I'll find out. And then we'll do this last one for this mail haul. Just throw these packages on the ground and we'll clean up. Okay, this next one is November. Thank God. This is not an August release. This comes out in November. Okay, this is another math nerd thing. I'm getting a lot of math nerd books. This is called Beyond Measure: The Hidden History of Measurement from Cubits to Quantum Constants by James Vincent. This comes out on the 1st of November. A vibrant account of how measurement has invisibly shaped our world from ancient civilizations to the modern day. From the cubit to the kilogram, the humble inch to the speed of light, measurement is a powerful tool that humans invented to make sense of the world. In this revelatory work of science and social history, the author dives into the hidden world of measurement, taking readers from ancient Egypt, where measuring the annual depth of the Nile was an essential task, to the intellectual origins of the metric system in the French Revolution, from the surprisingly animated rivalry between metric and imperial, to our current age of the quantified self. This kills me. The other day I was at the Brattle Bookshop here in Boston, and one of the books on the sale carts outside was a study, I think from Dover Press, in the good old days when they did great original books, of math in ancient Egypt. The whole book was about that. What we know about what the ancient Egyptians knew about math and how they did it. And I left it. Obviously, I left it. I didn't care about it at all. Now it would go well with this. Okay, the author is a senior reporter for The Verge, the Vox media site devoted to technology and society. I think I've seen a number of videos on YouTube from The Verge. Okay, well, this is a book about measurement that comes out in November. So that is our mail. We have Beyond Measure. It doesn't come out until the autumn. We have Lithium, a study not only of what lithium is, how important it is, what it does in technology, and also where it's found, but also of the wars that are going on about it that maybe you and certainly not I even knew about. Then Partisans by Nicole Hemmer, about the origins of the modern Republican Party. And Haunted Tales, which is edited by Lisa Morton and the great Leslie Klinger, a small collection of haunted stories from The Usual Suspects and some not so usual, plus Tutankhamun's Trumpet, a double that maybe you want. Maybe you're really interested in it, especially if you want to review it. Because ethically, I don't think I can send it to you if you're just idly curious. I think I would have to just wait until November and send you it. But if you want to review it, I can send it to you right away. But anyway, that's the mail on a boiling hot day, boiling hot, high fluffy clouds, but no relief at all. Oh my. So anyway, hope you're all doing well with the heat wherever you are. Chances are, given our current climate, that no matter where you are, you're dealing with high temperatures during the day. Here's hoping you have a little relief coming your way. But I will wrap this up for now, and I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.